Hi everyone! I've got something new for you today. I'm going to be starting a series called Follow Along Friday, and I'm doing this just because I've been trying to find a schedule that works for me and for you guys, and I think that this will work fairly well. So I'm going to start off by posting every Friday at some sort of tutorial or follow along video. Today I'm doing some cards. Well, I'm doing a card and I'm showing you some others I've done, and we'll probably stick along that theme, or there will be some art related things. I'm still completely working it out, but Follow Along Friday will be a consistent thing on my channel. Um, Other than that, you will see things every now and then while I work out what else works for all of us. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. As you guys know, I love the Crazy Bird or Bird Crazy stamps by Tim Holtz, and I've been making kind of a little set of cards. And I've been playing around with sizes and things I like, and basically my theme for this set of cards, I know they're different sizes and whatnot, but they're the Bird Crazy stamps with layered watercolor and splatters and little sentiments. So I just thought this was a really cute, easy idea to throw together. This one's just, this bird kind of looks a little love struck, so I just put a little heart there. It's a stamp I got at Michael's. It's just a nice color combination, and then I just did this one. Just says thanks with a little speech bubble. And the splatter is a little more muted on this one, but it's still layered in watercolor. And yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys a couple different things you can do with it. So I've already got those two done. I'm going to show you one right now as I work on it, and then I've got another one I'll probably show you soon that I'm going to be working on later tonight. And yeah, so let's get started. I'm just starting off. I've already scored and folded my card base, and this is just some white Recollections cardstock. And I made this one to 8.5 by 4.25, and I've cut some watercolor paper to go right on top of that. So that's obviously what you need to start. You're also going to need your watercolors, paintbrushes for your watercolor, also water for your watercolor, the stamps, and I'm using this guy from the Bird Crazy collection today, and I've got this Oh My stamp that I just picked up at the Michael's $1.50 section. You also need some adhesive and a fast resistant dye ink for the watercolor. So I'm using Memento and Tuxedo Black, and I believe that's all you need. So let's get started. So I'm just starting off by stamping this guy on the watercolor paper. I think I'm going to need to replace this soon, actually. I'm just going to be putting him kind of off center here a bit. Give him a good press down. With these stamps especially, because they're so, they're pretty detailed, so you want to make sure, just cleaning off my stamp, you want to make sure you get the ink in all the little creases and whatnot. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and stamp the sentiment as well. This is just a really fun, even relaxing card to make, like all of these have been, which is why I decided to share it with you and to keep going with them. There's so many different things you can do. I think these birds are so versatile, and that's what I love about them. They're, you can make them more masculine or more feminine, or you can do different things with them. Depending, I gotta fix that a little bit. Depending on, what you're going for. They kind of have weird expressions on all of their faces, so you can kind of play with that and, make it look like whatever you want it to look like, right? Okay, and then I'm just going to stamp this. I think he's kind of looking down, so maybe we'll make him look at it. So I think that's good. Oh my. And then I'm just going to clean off that. Okay, and we're going to let this just kind of dry for a minute. Just because the watercolor will bleed on the bird if you don't let it sit and just chill for a minute. So while I'm waiting, I'm going to load up my brush here with some water. And actually here you can see my messy watercolor palette today. How about that? Gotta give it a good clean later. And I think for this should be, I don't know, some fun colors. I see this as kind of a playful card, maybe something you would give your best friend or something like that, you know? So let's go with, maybe I'm going to start off with a light pink. This is pretty bright, but if we fade it out a bit on the card, it won't be so bad. And that's what's great about these cards too. You can really play with them. They're starting to turn into something really funky and fun, and every one of them is kind of different as I go along. Oh, and I should probably mention too, if you don't have like these stamps, because they might be pretty obscure, that's an easy enough sentiment just to write in or print off of your computer. Like go onto Word and type it in whatever font you want, or you can do it in like Photoshop or something like that. And then just go and print it out and stick it on. Oh, I didn't let it dry enough, it's bleeding a little bit. That's okay. Just make it work. Drop that down. I think I might even go in and stamp a couple more oh my's. I think that might be really cute. So I'm going to let that dry for a minute. And I'm going to get a smaller brush. This one should be okay. And I'm going to start working on the bird. So for this guy, I think I'm going to go in and start on his beak. And I'm just mixing this lighter orange here, this more vibrant orange. And I'm just going to put a light, I need a little more water, a light coat down first. And I'm mixing it with this darker orange here. They're really good color combination, these two. I wish I had kept the names of them. I might have them somewhere actually. You have to forgive me, guys. It's I'm still learning how to do this, and I tend to mumble in general, just in general. But when I'm working, I'm not normally talking, so I'm sure I'm mumbling a bit more than I should be. But we'll get used to it. I'll get used to it anyways. Alright, so he's got a little color on his beak. I think maybe we should move on to his body. And I think we're going to go with, let's see. You know, I haven't done a red yet. Let's do a red. I think that would be fun. And kind of complement the other colors where we have going on here. I'm going to start off with this. See, this is just kind of, this is a really easy card to just kind of have fun with and zone out while you're doing it. Then I think I'm going to go in with a darker red and fill in the wings there. Normally I would say, you know, color these stamps or birds or whatever you're doing in with whatever you want. But, you know, I guess you could do that with the bird, but with the other techniques we're trying to do, it's not so easy, just because we're going to be doing splashes and whatnot. I've seen people accomplish it with Copics and just recreating a watercolor look, but it takes a bit of quite a bit of work to build that up. This is much easier and frankly more affordable than Copics, so it's easier for a beginner to do something like this. Okay, and that's pretty dry now, so I'm gonna go in and stamp some more because I think that's really gonna work on this card. And see, it's really quick and easy. We're actually almost done. Yeah, I think I really need to get another one of these. I'm just gonna tilt them a bit, make them kind of wonky and fun. Like that works. I think that's good. Okay. Just clean off my stamp. And for those of you who aren't quite familiar with card making or stamping anyways, it's very easy. I'm just using a baby wipe to wipe off the ink, the extra ink that's left over. And it's a really easy maintenance for taking care of your stamps. Alright, so we've got that done. Now I'd really like to go in and show you guys how to get those watercolor layers a little easier. And you probably see a lot of watercolor cards that have those layers built up, and it's really fun painterly effect. So I'm going to show you how to achieve that. We already have a little bit of it going on, you can see there. And you just get that by adding more and less water or pushing out the paint a little bit more as you go. But you can always go back in and add more, either of the same color or of different colors. And I'm just adding some water in a few spots here to start building up some more color. And I'm going to throw in some, what am I going to do first? I'm going to throw in some yellow, some of this bright yellow. Just kind of placing it in those puddles that we just laid. And this is a really easy way to get this kind of effect, is using like a wet on wet. So you've got the wet paint on the wet paper. You can see it's building up some color for you here. I let the background dry before I did this because watercolor reactivates if you put water on it. So it does lift the paint up or move it around or blend with another color once it's already dried. I mean, it doesn't do it completely, but it almost does, like almost might as well. So that's why I let it dry really well first, and now I'm going back over it. Oops. If you make any kind of mistakes, you can just tap it down. And that's actually a really good tip. Generally I use like paper towel, but I have a rag here right now. And it helps it actually dry a bit because it gets rid of those big wet puddles. And if you're using like a textured towel, or even it works with paper towel as well, if you dab it and then twist it, you can get some fun effects while it's still pretty damp. And I used that on some of those other cards that you saw already. Alright, now that we've done that, see if I can show you a little bit better. You can see that the color is building up. And you can even spread it around a bit if you want. Oh, I missed a puddle there. There. And then I think we're going to go in with our splatters now. Because I want this to be kind of a funny, funky card, but you don't want to overload it with too much color, because that's where you run into issues of it being too busy or having the colors clash. Alright, so I've just dried off my brush as much as I can because this is my stiffest brush, so I like to use it to do the splattering. Yeah, that one's still pretty wet. So I'm just going to load on. I think I'm going to start off with a lighter blue, or like a blue that's kind of closer, I guess, in that family of vibrancy, if that made any sense. So I'm just loading it up. And then to create the splashes, just tap it. And I'm doing it now while it's still a little bit wet so that bleeds out and you get more of that that layered look. I should probably put paper under this. That would have been a good idea. While I'm splashing around here. And then you can flick it to get tinier, more concentrated dots. Like they aren't just big puddles. Alright, there we go. And see how some of that's starting to bleed and blend into the yellow, so you're getting a bit of a green look with some of that. And that's fine. I knew that was going to happen. It's just what watercolor does. So I'm just gonna spread some of it out again for that layered look. I'm just gonna take the color off of my brush and get a little tiny bit of water onto it and lighten some of these areas that feel a bit too harsh. Soften them up a bit. Okay, I'm just going to go in and dab some of it. Just helps list some of the color off if you're finding it a bit too harsh. Okay, and one last color. Gonna load in some pink. The same pink we used earlier, just to make it stand out a little bit more and add a little bit more vibrancy. Alright, and here we go. This is a really fun card to do. You can actually see this as being like a fun card to do. Oh, excuse my phone. Just a fun card to do with kids. Sorry about that, guys. It's just my mom calling. Normally, I wouldn't have my ringer up, especially when I'm doing something like this, but my boyfriend and son went out for a walk, and that doesn't happen often, so being a nervous mommy, my phone ringer is up. Alright. And I think I'm gonna call this done now. I'm really liking this, actually. So, now, basically, I'm just going to adhere this onto the card base, and it's done. Generally, before you do that, you're probably going to want to let it completely dry first. I'll just give you a better look at it. And I say that just because watercolor is very damp, and obviously it's wet. You can kind of see how the watercolor paper has warped a little bit. Any paper will do that. Definitely use the watercolor paper for something like this. Cardstock will just completely warp, but any paper will warp when it gets wet, even if it's just getting damp. So like this paper that I had over it or under it is starting to warp just from, you know, the splashing I was doing on it. Like it wasn't on it for long. So if you adhere it to your cardstock right away, the dampness will soak into the card and you'll have a more warped card. So that's just something to keep in mind. I'm just going to stick it on to show you right now. And I'm just doing that with some tape here. Move this. Oh yeah, see, this is just fun, easy. I went over 20 minutes again this time, and I don't mean to, but I was chit-chatting quite a bit at the beginning, just explaining the Follow Along Friday. And yeah, so I hope you guys like these. I'm really enjoying doing them. And yeah, so this is the end results. I will be posting another one. I'm going to be doing like a sorry card, like it could be like a sympathy card, or, you know, if you want to apologize for something, I guess. Whatever naughty thing you've been up to. Yeah, so that's going to be the next one. And I'll probably film that later when I'm working on it. But yeah. Alright. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button, and you'll be updated whenever I post a new video. And why don't you comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see on Follow Along Friday, if you're excited about these videos, because I am, and I'd like to know what I can show you, what you guys would like to see. It can be anything from art techniques to cards to how to draw this or that. I don't know, it's whatever you want. They're for you, so let me know. And yeah, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later.